Do you know all speakers are not created the same? When you go to an event and you hear a speaker, they're not the same. So my friend, here's my question to you. What type of speaker are you? And here's one of the things that I've learned. There's 4 different types of speakers. So let's identify which one you are, because I hope you're our bonus number 4. The first type of speaker is what we call a story-based speaker. Are you a story-based speaker? Are you the type of speaker where the large chunk of your presentation is your story? Or is it a collection of stories? I know speakers who literally, because they climbed Mount Everest or because they were the first person in history to do X, Y, and Z, their entire presentation is the story of how they actually went about doing said thing. If they became the first teacher in history to do this, or they became the first entrepreneur in history to do that, or they became the youngest to do this, or they became the oldest to do that, or they became the strongest person to do this, right? Or it could be a story of going from rags to riches, or it could be a story of succeeding against insurmountable odds. My friend, are you a story-based speaker? Are you so connected to your story and a series of stories that you have mastered that you love to wow an audience with the power of your storytelling skills? Do you like to animate and articulate and dramatically play out the events of your life in such an entertaining way that audiences would classify you as a story-based speaker? The second type of speaker that's out there is what we call the talent-based speaker. Now, talent is a really interesting word because talent could be anything, right? You could have a talent for humor. You could have a talent for acting. So Chris Rock, right, for example, has a talent for humor. So he could be invited to be a guest speaker based upon his talent, right? Steve Harvey has a talent for emceeing and hosting. So he could be invited to speak based upon that talent. Denzel Washington has a talent for acting, right? So he could be invited to come and be a guest speaker at a commencement because of said talent. So you could be invited to speak because you have a talent and something so unique and so amazing about how you do what you do that people love to hear you speak. So what special talent do you have? So for example, right, you might have a special talent in the area of cooking. And so you're such a talented cook that you're invited to culinary conferences to give presentations based upon the mastery of a given talent. Does that make sense? Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video, my friend. Listen, if you know that you want me as your mentor to take you to the next level, I highly encourage you to spend 1 year with me in our Inner Circle program. Do me a favor, click the link in our description so that you can learn more about our 1-year mentorship program called the Inner Circle Monetize Your Message Mastermind. Now, the third type of speaker that you could be is an expertise-based speaker. Now, if your talent has led to massive amounts of deep expertise in a subject matter, you could be invited to come as an expert-based speaker. When you're an expertise-based speaker, they're hiring you because of your brain. They're hiring you because of your intellect, your intellectual property, your emotional intelligence. They're hiring you because of some level of expertise that you have achieved, and in your industry, you're considered one of the best in your field based upon your expertise. Tons of things can help establish you as an expertise-based speaker. Books that you've published, articles that you've published, white papers, PhDs, doctorate degrees, certifications, right? All kinds of things that you've accomplished garner that level of expertise. Does that make sense? So for example, I got one of my friends, his name is Nick Walinda, right? So this guy literally tightrope walks across the Grand Canyon and all kinds of amazing places, volcanoes and all kinds of stuff, right? So he would be an expert in what it means to be fearless. But here's what's interesting. His expertise might be in being fearless because of the feats that he's accomplished, but he's also very talented as a tightrope walker, and he's got an incredible story about how he developed this gift through his family lineage. Does that make sense? So if you've got the expertise and you've got the talent and you've got a great story, my friend, you very well could be number 4, the bonus, where the real big money is, and that's the triple threat. When you are a triple threat, you've got it all. You know how they say in the entertainment business, if you can act, if you can sing, and if you can dance, you're considered a triple threat. In theater, you're considered a triple threat. In television and film, if you can act, sing, and dance, right? And add a fourth one, if you're attractive. If you can act, sing, and dance, and you're attractive, now you got a quadruple threat, right? So my friend, here's the question. What type of speaker are you? Because here's what I firmly believe. The best folks out there that are kicking butt and taking names, getting the stages, getting the big checks, getting the massive book deals, getting the endorsements, traveling the world, doing what they love, have a great story. They've got a tremendous talent that they've cultivated, and they have deep expertise in their field. Does that make sense? I've got a pretty decent story. I was labeled an at-risk youth in the 5th and 6th grade. Told academically I wasn't gonna amount to much of anything, but in spite of a lot of challenges in my childhood, I was able to go to Florida State University university, get a bachelor's and master's, 2 degrees in 5 years with a 4.0 and 0 debt. Came out and worked in corporate America for 1 year. Before I transitioned into becoming a speaker, I worked at the University of South Florida for 2 years. I don't have a resume. My work experience is 3 years long. And I've been a full-time speaker for 20 years. And I speak for Fortune 50 corporations all over planet Earth. And I worked in corporate America for 1 year. I got a pretty incredible story. I made a decision that I was gonna develop one talent, and that talent was public speaking. I decided I was gonna master one thing, the talent of public speaking, being able to get in front of an audience and mesmerize them with presentation skills that captivated them. As I was developing this gift, my expertise came in the area of helping people achieve what's called peak performance. So companies all over the world hire me to come help their top achievers in their companies and organizations become better, right? So my subject matter is peak performance, my talent is public speaking and presentation, and my story is one of going from rags to riches. My story is one of succeeding against the odds. My story is one of God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the call. I've been called to do this. This is what I'm meant to do with my life, and so I love it. And I'm handsome, so I get to be the quadruple threat. Come on up in here, right? Does that make sense, everybody? Hope you enjoyed this video. Listen, know that your boy Dr. Delatorro is somewhere around the world, believing in you, hoping you live your dreams at the highest level. This is your year to shift your speaking career into a higher gear. Know that I'm somewhere around the world believing in your success and believing in your next level.